Hey traders, what's up? Trade recap coming at you. Very frustrating day for me today. I ended up with a small red finish, and it was mostly due to poor trade management. I actually, going into pre-market, I called it. Like, I don't like to say I knew what was going to happen, but my prediction, like my bias, was it was going to go up and grab liquidity and come back down to 400. 400 was my target. And that's pretty much exactly what it did, with a whole lot of chop in between. And that's kind of where my trade management got the best of me, and it was just not good execution today. So diving into the trades, my first one was a great read. So it grabbed the liquidity at this 560 area. So if I zoom out, let me see if I can get this lined up for you. All this liquidity right here at like 558 and right there at 544, that was just an area that I was expecting it to kind of grab that liquidity and come down. And it was super textbook. Let me get this line back up for you. So that was that area right there. It hit 563 and had a strong rejection down. So I entered here right at 564, and the 15-minute opening range had already been set. I know it's kind of faded, but this, where I have my cursor right here, this was a 15-minute low. So that was where I took partial profits. I entered with 3 contracts on MNQ. So it was a small position just because it was my first position of the day. I wanted to kind of get a feeler. It happened so fast. So I only did 3. I took 1 profit at the 15-minute opening range low, and I was planning on holding the rest to see how low it could go, maybe grab some of this overnight liquidity at the London low. And then got stopped out up here at like 502. So just poor trade management on that one. And I think I've said in past videos, and I'm starting to realize this pattern, that when I have high, like large unrealized profits and I end up with small profits, like I only made like $150 on this trade, which is relative, I know, but it's not what I want to be making. And I got up to like $400 in unrealized profits, and that just made me really frustrated. And I think that's what led to the poor decisions for the rest of the day. So from there, my next trade was an attempt at a failed auction, and it was a loss. So here is the initial balance low. It had been set at this point. This was at 9:37, so 7 minutes after the initial balance had been set. Came back within the initial balance, and had a pretty strong reaction. So I did take a long. I put my target at the top of this range high, but I would have just trailed my stop, maybe taken it off at the anchored VWAP, but it didn't even get that far. Came back down and stopped me out. I did try again. You can see this big flag consolidation area right here. It had another failed auction, came back within initial balance. And I didn't take it there. I took it when it actually broke out of this channel, and it was a pretty strong move. There was lots of volume. You can see it was confirmed down here on my volume indicator. So I took a long. This was the longest trade in my life. I entered at 10:04 and ended up getting stopped out at 150. So a really, really long trade, and it just tested my patience. And I set my bracket orders and walked away because I didn't want to be like moving my stop loss and doing something stupid. But if maybe I hadn't lost my patience and kind of walked away, I could have managed it better, because now in hindsight, I see that it was kind of making this upward channel, and I had my stop loss set at break even when I had walked away. But I had gotten up to like 36 to 40 points in profit. I could have taken it somewhere up here at previous day high or a 15-minute opening range low. That would have been a good place to take profit. Or even as it broke below this trend line with a strong bearish move, I could have maybe gotten out there for at least 10 points in profit. Either way, just poor management overall today. And I'm pretty frustrated with myself because, again, I came into the day with the right kind of bias and right plan, and still ended up not making money just because I didn't manage it correctly. So another day, another dollar tomorrow, and gonna come back and keep using these as ways to learn and grow and improve. All right, have a good day, guys.